Hey everyone, a nerd named Mark here, and yeah, got the camera zoomed out today because I'm doing finally my February manga haul video, going over everything I got and also some collectibles that I got for my displays to go along with my manga. Um, man, I was good. Okay, for those of you who haven't listened to the podcast, listen to that. I've been going through it. Okay, as of right now, the time I'm recording this, I am dealing with a ruptured eardrum, which is why my content has kind of been spaced out and not as much. And I try and film everything in a day. It gets tough. Like my left ear is just. Luckily, I didn't need any medical procedures done, and there was no infection from it. It's so I don't need like a patch done because sometimes you need a procedure if it's really bad. It's not. It's just going to take like a week or two to heal, and probably longer. And I'm just like, man, the pain. Because I do like I use AirPods a lot and this and that, and now I can't because I'm trying to take better care of myself. I think what made it worse was a couple days after my birthday last week, uh, me and my lady went to a concert on Thursday night, and that was not the best option. That was not a smart choice. Because I thought it was maybe just like an earache or like an ear infection. Like, oh, whatever, Like, I have a high pain tolerance. I was like, I could deal with that. Went to a concert. Worst choice ever. Not the concert itself, just the idea of going to a concert with a unknown ruptured eardrum, which probably made it worse. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely not my brightest moment. But it was the spill canvas. It was great. In San Diego, the brick by brick venue is mm, amazing. But that is beside the point. That's not what we're here for. We're here to go over manga, and I got a lot of manga in February. A lot of not a lot of new releases. Just because I have a list of manga I started and that I want to keep getting more volumes for and this and that, and when they're not in stock, I don't get them. So a lot of stuff was like, oh, they're in stock. I'm getting it. Like I'm getting it right now. But for new releases, because I like my waifu inappropriate jokes manga that everyone roasts me for. I did get volume 5 of the 100 Girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. I like this manga. It's got some wholesome moments, but not many. It is what you think it is. Okay, it's a harem. It's harem manga. You caught me. It happens. Also, new releases, volume 17 of Rent a Girlfriend. I know that this is the one I get like the most roasted for is the fact that I love Rent a Girlfriend. So I found at Book Off because I love Book Off so much because this is where I get a lot of my older manga and sometimes newer stuff cheaper than price. I finally got the first 4 volumes of A School Frozen in Time. Now I read a preview for the first chapter of volume 1, and I was like, I need to get this, and it's $12.95 a volume, and I was like, that's a lot. Luckily, at Book Off they were $8 a volume, so and they're all like mint cherry condition. So I was like, you know what, I'm buying all 4. Like, basically, when you do the math, like I'm getting all 4 for cheaper than buying 3 of them. Yeah, so I was like, I gotta get them. This is in my backlog of manga to read, but sometimes I'll pick up manga that I definitely want to read, but it's gonna be on the back shelf while I read other stuff. But for that price, I couldn't say no. That was, a necessity. Another new release, Blue Lock Volume 5. I love soccer. I love Blue Lock. I haven't watched the anime yet because I'm reading the manga only right now. I will at some point check out the anime. Honestly, I still need to rewatch Captain Tsubasa because I love that growing up, and I want to rewatch that again. More new releases. Okay, I lied. There are a lot of new releases. I got Rooster Fighter Volume 3. You know me. You know how I feel about big, meaty kaijus. So I had to get Rooster Fighter Volume 3. I may review these. I haven't reviewed all of them. I know I've been reviewing like Go Go Loser Ranger and Don Da Don and stuff in Oshinoko. I think I'm going to start reviewing some of these other ones. Another new release, My Dress Up Darling, Volume 7. Um, yeah, we know. We know. At least this was more wholesome than, you know. you know. Let's see. Some backlog stuff. Silent Voice Volume 1. I wanted to get the box set. The box set's so expensive for only having 6 volumes at Barnes& and Noble. So I was like, you know what? I found the first volume at Book Off. It was $5. And it looks brand new. It looks unread, honestly. Like, no one's read it. Like, okay, it still has a security tag in it from wherever the person bought it from. Also, by the way, can Barnes& and Noble, I know you're guilty of this. Can you not put these security tags on that? Put them on the inside of the cover. Like, seriously. Like, I ain't trying to lose freaking art, like, panel. Like, no. This stuff, that, no, stop, okay? Because it's bad. I hate that so much. Um, so, uh, manga YouTuber reviewer, Nerdy Girl Creates. Go check out her channel. She tweeted about Blood on the Tracks. I asked about it. She highly recommended it. I was like, you know what? I love her channel. I watch all her videos, the Otaku Tuesday live streams, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get volume 1. So I picked up volume 1 of Blood on the Tracks. This is actually what I'm gonna be reading over the weekend. But yeah, sold me on it because it's something I've always seen the covers for. And I'm like, well, I don't know, should I read it? And like, but um, from a recommendation, like whenever I see her reviews and this and that, I'm like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. She's definitely like, if she says it's good or like it's and tells me what it's about without spoiling it and it appeals to, like, I trust that's what it is. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going out on a limb. I trust you. I'm buying it. So I bought it. I can't wait to read it. But like I said, go check out Nerdy Girl Creates on YouTube. And hang out on the Tuesday night streams where they do a Taku Tuesdays nights. It's a great stream. New releases: Go Go Loser Ranger Volume 3, which I already reviewed because I should have, done my video by now. From the backlog, The Detective is Already Dead Volume 1. This is something I've been wanting to read. I love detective stuff. I love anything supernatural, but this is more detective based, but I like detective stuff. Anything like exorcisms, this and that. That's like, I go through phases where, not where I hate them, but phases where I'm like hooked on it and I'm reading a bunch and watching a lot of anime and movies around it. And then it kind of simmers. Then I go back in. But there's never a time where I don't like that type of storytelling. And keeping that trend, I got Malevolent Spirits Mononogatari Volume 1, which is a new release. Uh, Pretty cool. It's from Seven Seas. A lot of Seven Seas stuff, I noticed. Next up, I got 2 volumes of, because I like Exorcist, but this is Sexy Ninja Exorcists. I got Ayakashi Triangle Volume 1 and 2. I can't wait to check those out. Picking up the backlog, because the backlog always gets added to. I got chapters 3 for ReZero for The Truth of Zero, chapter 3, volumes 1, volume 2, and volume 4. All at Book Off. So the thing with these is I've read all of, chapter 1 because there's only 2 volumes, and chapter 2. I found chapter 3 at Book Off for $2.50. So I bought it. And then I was like, well, I need the other ones. And then they never had them in stock. Or because I set budgets for myself, they had other manga that I knew would be harder to find that I had to pick up instead, like a older Yokai Watch print, or Yu-Gi-Oh, or Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. So I picked those up instead. But I'm glad I got these 3. So now I can at least, so now I have the first 4 volumes of chapter 3, which I can now read. And it's funny because I never watched the anime. I accidentally bought chapter 1, volume 1. I ordered, it was in my cart on Amazon, and it was supposed to be saved for later, and I accidentally ordered it with my big order I did. And I was like, well, let me read it. And I was like, this is actually really good. This is intriguing. I want to keep reading it. And then there's an anime, but I was like, well, not everything I read, I'll watch. Not everything I watch, I'll read. I kind of keep those kind of separate. The only ones, there's very few that parallel and cross over for me. And speaking of, because I mentioned Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, I got volumes 17 and 18, which I'm close to having everything released now. I can't find volume 16 for the life of me for a decent price. Like, someone was trying to sell it on Mercari for like $50, and I was like, no, not paying 50 for that. And then for some more backlog stuff, because I was trying to catch up, I have been hunting down Call of the Night for so long. I've talked about it on my podcast. When I finally found the first two volumes, when they finally were back in restock, back in I think what, November or December, I was like, yeah, I'm buying these. Then, since then, I could never find anything before volume 7. And I don't buy out of order. So if they have like a whole bunch of 7s and 6s, but I only have the first two volumes, I'm not buying 6 and 7. Unless it, like the only time I do that is older manga like Yamada Kun, ReZero, um, what else? Try to catch up on Yokai Watch and stuff like that. I will buy out of order because especially stuff that the run is already done. But I don't do that with current run stuff that's still being released. So I uh yeah I think I actually already had 3 and 4. I grabbed all of my. So I had 3 and 4 last month. This month I bought 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for Call of the Night. I was looking at my list because I have a list of what I did, and I was like, why did I grab 3 or 4? No, 3 and 4 I already bought. So I picked up volumes 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 of Call of the Night, which means I'm only 2 volumes behind for 10 and 11. I have read up to volume 3. I it is one of the ones where it's like I was hooked 2 volumes in, and I was like, okay, I need this. It was one of the ones that was recommended to me by my friend, and he always recommends me good manga, and he knows what I like. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. Next up, I got another Soul Eater Perfect Edition. This time I got volume 4. So that now, because I thought like they were already done because Barnes and Noble has so many of these. And by the way, I love the spines still. I love the covers of different characters every time. Like whatever this is called, where it's raised, like is really cool. Um, I guess they're still being released. There's only what like 6 or 7 released so far. So I like that they're spacing out. And then I was in a Discord call and someone was bringing up like Fire Force because I watched the anime a little bit and everything else. So now I'm just like, well, the tie-ins. I'm like, I'm gonna have to pick up Fire Force, but Fire Force has a lot of volumes and they're soft cover. And my hope is because of how Soul Eater looks. Can you imagine? Hear me out. Fire Force, perfect editions like this, black. Instead, red. Like, come on now. Yeah, that's what I want now. And lastly, I picked up the Pokemon Adventures. This was sealed. I got a factory sealed, and I got a deal on it for the Red and Blue manga set, which is 7 volumes. I've read 3 volumes of it so far. I'm a huge Pokemon fan, but I wasn't a fan of the show. I was a little bit when I was a kid, but after that, like I didn't care about the show. Things like Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh like kind of appealed to me more, but I always wanted to check out the manga and it was on sale, so I couldn't say no. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. That's and I got a really good deal on it, factory sealed. They listed it as damaged because it was mushed a little bit right there, but the books weren't. Yeah, you can see it. The books weren't damaged at all. So I was like, well, the books aren't damaged. It's factory sealed still in the shrink wrap with the poster and everything. I was like, screw it, I'll buy it. I don't freaking care. Like, and it was a ridiculous price. I was like, bro, this is like 7 volumes. It came out to like I think 3.50, $4 a volume. I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll buy it. Why not? But yeah, that is it for my manga. But I made a oopsies. So I read a lot of digital manga too to save space. Not everything I have physical. Like I read a lot of digital manga. I got this manga called "Turning the Tables on the Seatmate Killer," and I was like, I fell in love with it after the first volume digital, and there's a second volume out, and I was like, I just fell in love with it. I was like, this is freaking rom com. It's got some wholesome moments in it, some good comedy. So I go on Amazon, right? You know, Amazon is when I look for manga. I type in manga. I type it in Amazon. You know what you did, and it even says manga on it. I buy the physical edition. And I'm like, oh, look at that artwork. It gets delivered. I'm excited. I'm hyped up. I'm like, yeah. Then I turn to the first page. I'm like, ooh, that's some good artwork. Full color pages. Neat, neat, neat. And then I'm like, oh, a little more, a little wholesomeness. Okay, that's not wholesome. Um, But all the different characters, you know, the little sister, this and that. And then I'm like, that's a weird table of contents. This shit is a goddamn light novel, okay? And you know, okay, I don't talk about this in my manga reviews, this, that, but I talk about the podcast. Anime, fine. Manga, fine. Graphic novels, trade paperbacks, comics, fine. Webtoons, sure. Why not? I like manhwa. Light novels is where I draw the line, okay? I don't read light novels. I don't. I just don't. It's not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. I have too many other forms of media I'm consuming. Light novels don't need that to be added to the list. What happens? I read this in 2 days and it's amazing. And I want volume two of the actual light novel. And now I was talking to a friend about it. He's joking. He's like, yeah, you should check out more light novels. He starts giving me recommendations. I'm like, no, we're not going down this rabbit hole. I do not have shelf space for light novels. I have all my manga allocated to shelves, and I still have room for maybe another 100 volumes. Maximum, this shelf's going to hold 500 with having my stuff still on display, figures and stuff. You could see some manga falling over because that's where this manga was from before that I'm talking about now. But I was like, yeah, I'm not going down this rabbit hole. So, needless to say, I'm probably going to go down the light novel rabbit hole. So if you have any light novel recommendations, let me know. But yeah, that's it for the manga I picked up in February. Um, at the time of this, I believe uh my whole collection is now at like 218 by the end of February. And then I spent $369.78 on manga. That was MSRP, but taking off the sale of stuff and the discount from Barnes and Noble, I only spent $284.63 because book off prices and then also my Barnes and Noble membership I get 10% off. So yeah, got some good deals. Like what do you think about it? I saved like $70, $80 total if I had bought everything full price like on Amazon or anything like that. So, or at like Barnes and Noble without the discount. So really cool. Like the two most literally the two most expensive things I bought was the Soul Eater Perfect Edition and the Pokemon Adventure Red and Blue box set. But before that's it for what I got. All right, sorry about that. I had some camera issues when I was editing this, and I realized something happened. So this is the new outro. But yeah, that's it. Everything I bought for the month of February. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I've passed 900 subscribers. I'm on the road to 1,000. Let me know what you picked up for manga recently, and given what I picked up, if you didn't see something there that you think I would like, give me a recommendation. I have a list of most of the recommendations. I know the Ghost in the Shell manga was recommended to me. I've been trying to find them and hunt them down because I am actually a fan of Ghost in the Shell. I remember watching that growing up, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I should watch that. That I should get those mangas, and as well as I'm trying to find the Neon Genesis manga, but it's like more of like the school life one. That's more of a comedy. I'm trying to find that one as well. But with that being said, I thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.